Michael, tonight environmental experts are trying to figure out exactly what washed up ashore here on Hutchinson Island over the weekend. A viewer sent us a photo he took on Sunday of what appeared to be a black gooey substance, which has since cleared away. Tonight, the water here is still clear, but experts say in the near future it may not stay that way. Terry Baker looks forward to fishing weekly at the Jensen Beach Causeway.
Flounder, snapper, stingrays.
But what's in the water just a few miles away has him worried.
It's very disgusting. It looks like tar or oil.
This photo a viewer sent us shows a black goo-like substance on the Hutchinson Island shoreline just south of Herman Bay that he says spanned for about 100 yards.
And we fish different areas, but I've never seen it.
Baker has fished on Hutchinson Island as well, but after seeing this...
Yeah, I wouldn't eat anything I caught from over there.
Mark Perry with the Florida Oceanographic Society says these pictures alarm him too.
I think that is a concern, is the size of it and the extent of it.
The goo washed away before Perry was able to get a sample, but with his experience, he says he believes it's something he has seen before.
That fine material that he had in his hand is more indicative of a cyanobacterial.
There's just pockets of it all over the beach.
Yeah, black gooey substance is washing ashore at our local beaches this evening and is causing quite a mess for beachgoers.
A 10 News viewer who stepped in the stuff at Carlsbad State Beach tipped us off. 10 News reporter Matt Mendez went to check it out. Matt, you have gotten to the bottom of what this substance is.
Experts say it's caused by oil seeping up from the ocean floor, caused when the earth moves. As a result, it causes this, a black-like gooey tar substance.
It's completely natural, it's harmless, it kind of makes a bit of a mess.
An expert with Coast Keeper told 10 News the little blobs are natural and more than likely seeping up from the earth.
Is it true that there is a substance seeping up from the ground on a road in Venezuela that no one can identify? First appearing in 1986 on a highway between the city of Caracas and its airport, La Mancha Negra, meaning literally a black stain, began as an approximately 50-yard, 46-meter long smudge. In 1991, it was reported that the slippery goo had caused over 1,800 deaths and countless other injuries. All attempts to get rid of the substance were reportedly in vain. So what's the real cause of La Mancha Negra? Is that the La Mancha Negra phenomenon is simply the result of using poorly mixed asphalt concrete when constructing the road. Here, and it's not exactly rocket science.
So one thing like that.
This animal here is easily 50 meters long. They can also easily grow up to 30 meters. We here have found a bootlace worm. Also here, one single creature. Here a couple of pictures. One animal, a pine with his worm.
Okay, we found some black mud. Tap your... Oh, did you see that? Oh, what noise? What is it? We're gonna discover what this black weird stuff is. It's like a huge cow pat. Like that other end's probably a good 25, 30 meters away. Here we go. We're gonna discover what it is.
Throw it far away, please.
What? Ugh, look at this. What is it? Here we go. Third person GTA. Throwing rocks in a big thing.
out at night. You'll never see it coming, Seth.
What the hell just happened? What is that? That was once a white suit, if you're just tuning in. Seth is the architect.
Come to me. You don't want to wake up, do you?
In a few minutes, I will tell you what I know about this so-called black goo, which, I don't know, they call it black goo because they don't know the name, or should I say, the names. Because there are 3 different kinds of this so-called black goo. They all have names, and within each kind, there's dozens of variants. But I'll get to that. A lot of people are talking about it. Not a lot, but a few. And some know a little bit about it, but they don't know, not even close to 5%. But they have some few ideas. Let me show you, a few clips of people that are researching, learning, and they got close to know a little bit. And let me show you again how this so-called black goo, which I'll explain later, is everywhere. Much bigger than what you think. Then I'll tell you all that I know. Not all, otherwise I'd be here for a year, but enough. And then we'll have a connection, the black cube. And then I'll show you footage of the real footage. Nobody has this footage in the world, only I. And you'll see one of the kinds of the black goo in action, okay? Be patient. Let me show you more so that you know more about it, not just part of it. I want to show you all the different aspects as much as possible, within time limit. Keep watching.
I see the black goo. It's inside of you. It makes you do what it wants you to. Black goo. Black goo. It's no surprise behind your eye. Your mind's demise will buzz like flies. Black goo. Black goo. It's inside of you. You hesitate, but it's much too late. The goo has eaten all that's inside your head. Black goo. Black goo. You do what it wants you to. Slave to the black goo. Your eyes are alive, but you won't survive from the goo inside as you join the hive. Black goo. Black goo in control of you. The end is near. You can feel the fear. You can feel the fear. Deep inside, where the black goo hides. See your eyes. Terrified. Black goo. Black goo. It's inside of you. You do what it wants you to. Black goo.
Now we're working with a different type of computer, really bacteria. They're like information processors that do chemicals, but they're different. You know, they're programmable, but the cool thing is they also make more of themselves. So they're like computers that can reproduce. This is pretty powerful.
That's amazing.
And if you look at a bacterial genome, it has about 5 megabits of information. Really, you know, a small photograph. But this is enough to program a living thing. And really, if you've got a software program, you have to learn the basics. You have to learn how to read it, you have to learn how to write it. We've been sequencing with devices like this. This is a desktop, it's about the size of a laser printer, but it can do a whole human genome, and reading it, we're starting to comprehend more and more of the basic tools of life, which is, this is a simulator for the first bacterial cell. It's actually
What's
really
going on?
cool.
What is this
We're
a picture of?
actually modeling all the chemical processes that happen in a single bacterium, computer model of a living cell.
Wow, that's
It's the
incredible.
first time we've ever done this. This was published by Stanford this last summer. And really what we're doing now is we're starting to learn how to write code. The shift was synthetic biology. And what makes it so powerful is now we can actually use computer software. We don't need a lab anymore. We don't need these tools, which were really restrictive. We can start using laptops. Essentially, now we have word processors for DNA. And the cool thing is we have printers. Companies like DNA 2.0, and there's a bunch of other ones, will print out your DNA, kind of like a Kinko's used to, print out color copies.
It's genetically engineered machines. So they're thinking about life as a kind of like a robot or a machine that you can control.
Yeah, we look at simple bacteria as really being little robots that are programmable.
So apparently this actually is artificial life and it's able to grow.
They call that the nanotechnology.
Nanotechnology, imagine that.
Smart dust. Like this is from inside coming out.
Okay.
And it's nothing to do with the roots. It's more the matter is changing. We go back, we follow the hair a little bit. You can see the skin of the hair. This, I see that often in rain.
Okay.
When it's raining, we see that really, really often. Okay, this is the same kind of stuff like the long one. We see they go and go and go and they are long. And how we do that is just transform water and air and the matter surround it. You take it, transform it, and it go. And why they do that is the webbing, everything. They web. I call that webbing. That's what they do, the webbing. See that part here? That's the one, you're going to see that often. Everywhere you see that. It's coming out of it, and after it's transforming.
Is that moving on its own?
Oh yeah, he's moving on his own. I do nothing.
Yeah, we look at simple bacteria as really being little robots that are programmable.
Do you have examples of that? I mean, have they really built some of these machines?
Absolutely.
You could design an organism on your desktop computer, your laptop computer at Starbucks even, and then send it out to get not just printed or not just have the DNA compiled for you, but you could actually have the organism, made, manufactured, produced, what do they?
My perspective is no one worries about eugenics when it comes to microbes or the perfect microbe. We're starting bottom up with this. I think it's a long time before we start programming humans.
What this guy said is true. There's a lot more to say about it, but what he said is true. And on the footage that I told you I'm going to show you today, and nobody has ever seen this footage, only I have it, you will see it happening. Stick around, keep watching. Something is always happening. But when it happens, people don't always see it, or understand it, or accept it. Let me show you one of them. Here's a black hand holding a black cube. And in the front, you'll see this. It means, it says, this is me. It's important.
Okay, just stay calm. Stay quiet. This is okay. I can handle this. Hey, baby. It's beautiful. Okay. Prometheus, we have two. Look at you. Hey, baby. You're strong. Maybe you should help me now, okay? Get off that, okay?
Today, we'll be taking a look at chemical A03959X.91, more commonly referred to as the black liquid or black goo. The black goo was essentially an extremely potent and virulent mutagenic pathogen composed of millions of microorganisms, which was manufactured by the engineers to serve as a biological weapon, though it would be more accurate to call it a catalyst for evolution. Used by the engineers to cleanse planets of life, once exposed to another organism, the virus would begin mutating its host by rewriting their DNA.
They're different, they're programmable, but the cool thing is they also make more of themselves. So they're like computers that can reproduce. This is pretty powerful. We're starting to comprehend more and more of the basic tools of life, this is a simulator for the first bacterial cell.
It's genetically engineered machines. So they're thinking about life as a kind of like a robot or a machine that you can control.
Essentially, now we have word processors for DNA. And the cool thing is we have printers. Companies like DNA 2.0 and there's a bunch of other ones.
The virus would begin mutating its host by rewriting their DNA. In the film, as the pathogen began to leak from its containers, the liquid began mutating several of the worm-like slugs that were found in the engineered temple, prior to turning them into aggressive hemipedes. These stunning serpent-like creatures exhibited acidic blood, much like the xenomorphs, as well as having incredible strength and the ability to regenerate lost body parts. The physiological changes caused by the virus were so abrupt that most of the hosts would become exceedingly aggressive and seemingly mindless, attacking anything that was living within sight. eventually mutating into a monstrous entity that began ruthlessly hunting his crew members. This massive monster eventually took hold of an engineer and impregnated him, after which the engineer himself also gave birth to another creature called the Deacon, while the poor Fifield fell face first into the black goo back at the temple. At higher concentrations, the mutation would occur almost instantaneously, breaking the body down in a matter of seconds to create new life. Given these examples, I think it's evident that the chemicals-induced mutations were random, never allowing it to recreate the same effect. According to David, who spent nearly a decade extensively studying the pathogen and its effects, the virus was designed to infect non-botanical organic life. After years of practice, David was able to master the use of the substance to create the protomorphs seen in Alien Covenant as a precursor to the xenomorphs. We also get a marvelous display of its destructive power in Alien Covenant, when David released a large amount of the pathogen onto the engineers that lived on Planet 4, with the virus killing them outright instead of infecting them. I should also mention that in the incredible Fire and Stone comic book anthology, the black goo is also seen having phenomenal effects on an android named Eldon, which comes into contact with it, turning him into something incredible.
Hi friends, today let's dive into the Hunger Games! A pod is a secret weapon hidden by the Capitol. Similar to those seen in the Hunger Games, they used to injure or kill people.
A list of every known pod. These pods can trigger anything from bombs to traps to mutts.
In this case, the pod that's triggered releases a huge black goopy tidal wave. This black goo ends up killing Mitchell while he's stuck in a net. It covers everything in sight and has a horrid smell. In the books, it eventually just kind of peters out, becoming thinner and thinner. In the movies, it seems to be recalled away by something.
Game makers are still putting on quite a show.
Either way, in both cases, it again leaves a black goopy mixture everywhere. What exactly is this black goo?
Big things have small beginnings.
Hello everyone. Today is a special video. You will see the so-called black goo, which has different names. There's 3 different kinds of them. You'll see it in action. Short clip. I have more, which I will show eventually. I'll also show you one of my brothers, and I'll tell you about him. Why is he doing what he's doing? I'll also show you night activity concerning Vlash hybrids, the Azazians, and the area involved in this incident, which has not yet finished. It's an ongoing incident which started a few weeks ago. So I encourage you to try to watch the video until the end, because I know people watch the first 10 minutes and then give up on it, and then they don't know what's going on. Then they send me messages asking me questions which had been answered on the video before, or some other one. Anyway, it's none of my business. You can do whatever you want, but pay attention. Might help you in the future. Might help you save your own life, and even your loved ones. Who knows? Okay. Cheers and enjoy.
My name is Dante.
Then you see the red areas. When I arrived, that's what Vlash and Met controlled. That's what Vlash and Met controlled, the red areas, which was like 90% or more. and then you'll see turning into white are the areas that we now control. Yes, we push them to a corner, to the edge of town. All the way to the edge of town, except for that little red corner. That little red corner is right downtown. But that little red corner, it's like 2 city blocks downtown. They're still there. Why haven't we been able to kick them out of there? Well, it's complicated. That area is not only controlled by Vlash and Matt Hybrids, because all the mafias that you can imagine are here.
You see the majority, 75% of Met hybrids and Vlash hybrids, they work 12-hour shifts from noon till midnight and then midnight till noon. On the clip you're about to see, it's midnight, around midnight, give or take a couple of minutes. And these are Vlash hybrids, not Met, Vlash hybrids arriving to their neighborhood, the one they control. As you could see, the neighborhood was pretty quiet, just a couple of cars. Suddenly, everything changed. The Vlash hybrids are arriving from their shifts. What do they do in their shifts? All kinds of shit. You know, racketeering, burning, killing, and we're fighting them. And these are the Vlash hybrids arriving from their shifts, the ones that do noon till midnight. That's what we're gonna see now. Cheers. Mind you, the area that you are watching is a city block. You are only watching a part of one of the 4 sides of the block with one of the entrances, the gate. But the whole thing is a big square, a city block with a yard in the middle. So there's other entrances. They're not only coming in this area, they're also entering this city block from other areas. It's a block. So this is only one perspective. They're coming from all areas, and there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 entrances. So this is only one perspective. By now, probably around 20 or 30 got in the block, the compound, from a different street. Keep watching. Now, how much of the police we control here? About 10%. And then 10% is more than enough, because 90% of the cops is just there, you know, for a paycheck, just doing their job, like any other job. Truck driver, doesn't matter. 90% of the jobs are just of the cops are just there for a paycheck. We have to control the leadership, and by control, I mean having people that serve the cause, either be Zazians or Tertius hybrids or humans who serve the cause. So we need those 10%. Police chief, captains, sergeants, leaders of teams, people in control of the communications, 10% of people in key positions. They serve the cause. And those 10% are enough to control an entire police department. It doesn't matter how big it is. Same thing here. Our 10% control 100%. The car you just saw passing had an Azazian and 2 civilians. And by civilians, I mean cops. Humans who serve the cause. They're after someone. Keep watching. Let's just make a little pause here for me to show you something, because some of you have little faith and you may be thinking, no, they don't control that much police. Let me show you a little example. You just saw a local police car. Let me show you again. Okay, so now you know how they look. Now look at this footage. Footage of a car. It's without sound. I have it with sound, but it's not to be shown today. Anyway, the car gets shot at, crashes. A police car comes right after. Doesn't stop. No. Doesn't stop. Think. Then later, normal police officers arrive and stop. But not that police officer. Maybe he works for someone. Check it out. So now let me explain to you what this so-called black goo, what people call black goo, is all about. There are 3 main kinds. 3. And each kind has dozens of different versions for different purposes. Also, they all have different compositions, density. The first and main kind was called Faid. And that was created by the goddess. And that's how the goddess created life, not only on planet Earth, but on many other planets. She created man and woman and many other races out there. She did these creatures, like a man and a woman, didn't just pop up like a hologram. It started with a small drop of a black looking substance, which he calls Faid, which in Carishush means birth. That little black drop has everything needed for life to start, including the soul. The so-called DNA is there too, one of millions of things. One drop is about the size of a small fingernail. The essence of life. That's everything, including soul, the soul. And that's she called Faid. That's how life started. Everywhere, everywhere, not only on Earth, everywhere. That's how she did it. How she did it, exactly, I don't know. But that's how she did it. Later, much later, on Earth, the Metri created their so-called black goo. They call it, maybe they have a name for it, we only know it as 1155. When they address their so-called black goo, it's 1155, that's the only term we've heard. It was the Metri. And the purpose of this 1155 creation, we still don't know all the ins and outs. We know what it can do if you touch it, and that 1155 has you as a target, infects you, takes over your body and your power. You lose power. You don't know who you are anymore. That so-called 1155, that black goo that Metri created, takes over your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, everything. You're a different person. Over your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, everything. You're a different person. If you're a target, you can touch it and nothing happens. If the 155 doesn't want anything to do with you or has no purpose for you, then you don't suffer anything. You clean it off. And there are many dozens. The Metri created that. Not even the Vlach had it. Not even the Vlach had this 1155 black goo until after World War II. When the Nazis were defeated, they introduced this 1155 to the Vlach, to the American Vlach hybrids. and to the Vlach themselves. Von Braun, the scientist that they took to work for the American rockets for NASA, he was the one who introduced, the main guy that introduced the 1155 to America. Vlach and Vlach Average did not have any so-called black goo before. What happens after World War II introduced it. But this 1155 it's terrible, and I'm sure you heard on the news, some guy kills his entire family and all the neighbors. He was such a nice guy, such a nice person, so peaceful. We don't know what happened. One day he just went crazy, killed everybody. Why he killed everybody? That's another story. There's a reason. But 1155, a lot of cases, not all, because there's other reasonings and other substances that I've mentioned before, but this 1155 can do that. Switches, takes over your brain, everything, your personality, and controls you. And then you do what maybe you never thought of doing, but it doesn't matter, you're not in control anymore. That's one of the things this 1155 does. One, it is also used in diplomacy between countries. When they're talking, having discussions about, okay, we'll sell you so much oil and you give us so much gas, or commercial trading, all kinds of trading. This goo, if dropped in the right place, if it's there, takes over one of the diplomats, for example, and what he was told by his president to do, he does something else. And then it's signed. Then big problems have started like that. Wars started like that. It's very complex. I'm just giving you like a general idea. And then there's also the Caristus black goo, which the Caristus created to fight the 1155 of the Maître. And that we call Oteca. Oteca, which in Caristus means revenge. And that is out there in a lot less in number than the 155, but it's out there fighting the 155. Where? Everywhere. Underground, above ground, in the water, sewage system, you name it. Whatever 1155 is, Oteca tries to get there and destroy it. And most of the time, it does. But there's a lot more 155 than Oteca. As usual, they're more powerful.